Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. I want to talk about silver's potential in the year coming up. 2020 is going to be exponentially more exciting and just bigger for precious metals and the world, the markets around it. Now, why is this? Well, if you look at historically, what's happening in the economy is setting up for huge prices. I'm not trying to just pump silver and just try to say this just to get people excited. I don't want to mislead or misguide you guys. I'm being serious. Look at silver when it was $50 in 2011. What was happening? There was a huge lead up to it following Y2K all through the 2000s, the recession, stock market volatility. And then obviously it boomed to $50 or $49. And that wasn't even 10 years ago. So the chance of that happening again isn't very unlikely. Now, when I'm looking at everything that's happening right now in the economy, from the political standpoints from it, the industrial shortage from silver, how much is being used in society, technology, especially the way we're advancing in, it's a no-brainer that silver is on the cusp of really exploding. And I just made a video diving deeper into that aspect of it. But today, I really just want to talk about the year 2020 because look what's happening. We have the US-China trade negotiations happening and I guess not even coming to terms. I think all they've traded was soybeans so far. They might be doing a second trade, but people are turning towards safe haven investments because they are fearing recession. They're fearing the economy. They're fearing the governments. They're fearing the banks. We have JP Morgan manipulating prices behind scenes, so it is in somewhat of a manipulated market or a bubble, quote unquote, you would call it to some extent. But also you do have the deflating dollar. So regardless if it's in a bubble or not, regardless of how volatile stock markets are, you need to be investing into something that holds its value within itself, aka intrinsic value, and precious metals are the only asset that offers that. So I definitely think that it's very important to be investing into precious metals, especially at times like this when there is a recession looming around the corner. The 2020 presidential election will be hands down the most influential price mover or momentum that's going to be pushing silver prices either higher or lower. Now, it would be silly to say lower because anytime if you look at what motivates prices in the precious metals market to rise, it's when there's controversy, when there's uncertainty in the air. And the 2020 presidential election is definitely going to do that. So whether you want to argue silver is going to be bear or not, you have to take that into consideration and the unknown factors that lay at bay as well. I mean, think about how many unknown factors that will be happening within that, even that time period between then, that are going to be happening that's going to influence silver's price. So it's not something that you can really sweep under the rug. You can't really push this stuff aside. You have to incorporate this in silver's price. So right now at silver, if silver's $17.50 around that price right now, you have to really consider where prices are going to be headed until the 2020 presidential election. So right now is definitely one of the best opportunities to be buying silver for cheap. I mean, I look at the price prediction charts and not many people are incorporating the unknown factors, the environmental factors, or the political factors at bay. Most people will talk about the surplus or supply and demand, and yes, that's a great topic to point out. But not many people are talking about the political side of it and what the 2020 presidential election is going to bring to the table. So if you are investing into precious metals, I highly recommend holding on to your coins and holding on to your silver and gold until then. And if you do want to capitalize, then go for it. Don't obviously sell all at once, but if you do want to capitalize, if prices get to $25 since you've been buying around $15, then yes, take some profits out and maybe even reinvest it into other silver or diversify your portfolio. Now, the ETF side of it, the prices are also going to be affected. I mean, the markets are essentially the same, so it's not like just the bullion side of it's going to be up and ETFs are going to be down. I mean, volatility is everywhere, and if you are a day trader, if you are trading almost like a stock market, then you're going to you're going to be in a very high intensity situation with prices extremely volatile and fluctuating extremely rapidly, especially as more uncertainty flows into the economy, into the air. I want to really talk about the safe haven investment side of it, because if you look at any time there's something huge that happens, this is what pushes precious metals higher. But it really doesn't make sense why these people, why it takes a huge event for them to finally jump the gun and invest into precious metals. Why couldn't it be just naturally understanding the risks at bay? Or once that situation does happen, why don't they stay into the markets? Why do they eventually end up selling and going back to their fiat based investment, or just in their savings? It doesn't make sense. They know the risks at bay, they know what's coming. It's not like they're, I guess it is that out of sight, out of mind type mind state where they just kind of hope everything's gonna fall together, behind the scenes, when it's obvious, the signs are extremely, they're extremely, I guess, daring right now to say that things aren't going to be getting worse. I mean, there's no hope for our financial system getting better. There's no hope for our economy getting better. The recession is coming sooner than later, and you need to be prepared for it. And the only way to prepare, the smartest way to prepare, the safest way to prepare is definitely precious metals. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the dollar will collapse sooner than later, and there's no solution. It's not like we're going to figure out a solution to this. The hyperinflation is destroying the economy, and our only solution is trying to replace our debt with more debt. So that's only going to speed the process up. So we need to be prepared for this. Now, when you're looking at gold and silver, they have intrinsic value. Not that many other alternatives have this. So you want to be investing into stuff like that. I can't even give another example of something that's even close to intrinsic value. So that's really important to think about, because the dollar's crashing, but stock markets are pegged to the dollar. Cryptocurrency isn't, to some degree, but that still is just as dangerous as the dollar. And I feel like the more people understand the financial state we're in right now in the economy, the more aware they would be, and maybe they would be switching their investment options and their choices they're making. I hope people that are watching this video, if you don't know about it, you would check out some other videos or research on it, because we're $24 trillion in debt due to hyperinflation, and the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power. If you've ever heard of these third world countries that carry their money in trash bags now, or weigh their money on scales because it's become so worthless, that's the state we're headed in. So we are headed into the digital age as well, which is definitely why we are going to need more silver and gold more than ever. Silver being the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity, performing not like any other metal, especially for as cheap as it is. So industries are going to need it, consumers are going to need it. The production's down by extremely dramatic lows. I mean, hundreds of millions of ounces for the past couple years or several years have been getting cut back on silver mines, abandoning the mines, and it's really scary to think about, because the surplus, the supply and demand, is one of the biggest motivators for a price to fluctuate, either good or bad. And with demand at all-time highs, especially around the 2020 presidential election, but the supply is going to be at all-time lows, you can see how serious of a situation this is going to be. So 2020 is definitely going to be a huge year for silver, whether it's the shortage coming, whether it's the political side of it, whether it's just the natural price rise, or also when media covers it. I've noticed recently, when silver does rise, like when it was around $19.50, more people were covering it than ever, which is very rare for silver. Usually it gets swept under the rug, but people are talking about silver alongside with gold, and I think people are finally starting to see the potential in this market, which is really, really good, because media has a huge influence and has a huge audience that could highly be, influenced to make better decisions and better investments. And the more they talk about only stocks or cryptocurrency, the less the good they're doing, especially with a safe haven investment like precious metals. So hopefully that will change sooner than later. But anyways, I'm curious what you guys think about this. Where do you guys think silver prices are headed in the year 2020? Do you think they're going to be higher, or do you think they're still going to be in this $18 range? I definitely don't see how that's possible with all the given circumstances at bay. But I am curious on where you guys think it is, and also, more importantly, why. Context matters. I love when people explain, not only giving an answer, but really giving some backstory on why they are choosing, or what their perspective is on that opinion, because then it allows other people in the comment section sections to really, spark conversation and see different opinions, different ideas. And it really does allow us to become more open-minded as well. So in the precious metals community, I feel like we are all connected. We all have the same passions. We all understand the same benefits with the same type of assets, and that is definitely something that's precious, no pun intended. So anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button if you did find this video educational or just entertaining. Also, make sure to be subscribed because I post daily videos. I posted 2 other videos a day. I usually post 3 videos a day. So if you want to be, informed and just stay alert on the newest, the latest precious metals news, whether it's silver price, whether it's stuff going on around the scenes or in the world of precious metals, you want to be updated on that and informed, then make sure you subscribe to my channel because I will definitely keep you guys informed on that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.